Goodall, FightHype.com. I'm here with my man Muhsin Cason. What's going on, man?
What's up, champ? Just here, with the fight. Support my man Jaron. Of course, Baltimore's in the house, so supporting Tank Davis. Just chilling. How you been?
Good, man. It's always fun catching up with you. It's always like some exciting news that always comes out of the interviews.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. So, I guess my news is I'm waiting for, one of the best cruiserweights. I'm waiting for one of those spots so that way, I can actually get seen. I think I'm one of the best cruiserweights in the world, so I'm just waiting for my opportunity. Somebody needs to step up because I'm definitely avoided in the cruiserweight division.
You know what's crazy? In this era of social media, right? It's like everyone says like you have to build a name, essentially, right? Sometimes it's who you fight or build a social media platform, or get some popularity. Your social media is like off the chain.
That's what I'm trying to say. And that's exactly why I did it. I literally said, all right, cool. I saw Jake Paul and KSI. They're doing their thing. They're getting over $1 million for their pro debut. I said, well, how can I be like them? Let me get, more followers. So now, I'm over all the social media. I'm almost at 1 million. So I'm like, okay, I gotta keep building because I gotta get recognized. You can't say no to me if I put butts in seats. So I'm waiting for the right promoter and I'm waiting for the the right challenger. Let's get it. And as y'all know, I'm ready to fight anybody. Tristan Calcurth, I want him bad. I don't think he deserves to actually box. Like I think he might be boxing because of his dad or something like that. But I would love to get in the ring with him. Golden Boy needs to come holler at me too.
Yeah, who you want over at Golden?
Tristan Calcurth. I want him. I just need to show him, knock him off the list. I don't even know why he's there. So, yeah.
It's one of Bomac's fighters. That's B&B. They were completely undefeated last year.
That's okay. That's cool. That's because they ain't faced me. Listen, Bomac is a great trainer. Maybe he got something up his sleeve with Calcurth, but Calcurth ain't got the heart. He ain't got the heart for this sport. He's tall, he's big, but he not about it. I've called him out. I've tagged him. No answer. I think I've messaged him. No answer. So when you want to fight, you'll fight anybody. When you don't want to fight, you want to pick and choose. Floyd had changed the game. When it came to picking and choosing, and now that's the game. So I understand it, but yeah, come holler at me.
Would you go to De La Hoya and Bernard? You kind of maybe work your deal?
Absolutely. On top of talking trash and all that other stuff, you do got to know the sport. It's high risk, low reward, or high risk, high reward. It depends on what it is. If they don't want their fighter to lose, at this moment, and they feel like they can kind of move around me, they will. So, Oscar De La Hoya, B-Hop, y'all know what it is. I've met y'all, I've talked to y'all, I've had a conversation with y'all. People know who I am. So, it's just all about having my chance. So, inshallah, I get it.
Family bloodline, lineage, Hassan Rahman, from world championship to even world championship level training, Coach Ib.
Absolutely. Shout out to Ibn. I was with Ibn when I first started. Ibn taught me my fundamentals. But yeah, everybody knows who I am. Like I said, I'm no stranger to the sport. People know who I am. People know who I am worldwide, especially as far as social media. So, it's not a losing situation. You gonna get your bang for your buck. I'm gonna knock you out, but
it'd be a fun fight. You and the winner of Brandon Glanton and Christian Smith.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. Me and Brandon, we had some words. Nothing came of it. I never thought anything of Bill Smith. Billiam Smith. I don't want to get his name wrong. That's disrespectful. Billiam Smith. I don't really think nothing of Billiam Smith.
Right after that, you said no disrespect. I think nothing of. I just respectfully.
I was saying no disrespect to his name. I don't want to get his name wrong. People get my name wrong all the time. But as far as his skills, I don't really see it. I would love to get in the ring with him. I would love to get in the ring with Brandon Glanton. A lot of these guys who are in the top 10, I'm gonna get my chance. I'm gonna get it.
How do we get you like cracking through this cruiserweight? Because like the thing is like you have a social media platform that's like it's reminiscent of a little bit like how Ryan Garcia came in the game, right?
Yep,
you know?
That's exactly how it is. It's really about fighting the right people and then getting with the right promoter. Other than that, that's it. It's nothing else to it. Boxing is a business disguised as a sport. So you have to know the business side, and you have to be able to talk, you know, walk the walk, talk the talk, and get your name out there. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm investing in myself, so that way once I actually get there, you know, my Coach Rel, he's with, you know, Shakur Stevens. Like, you know, it's not like I'm not with the right people. We're just waiting on our moment.
I know a long time ago when Hasim Rahman Jr. was supposed to fight Jake Paul. We were talking about maybe you and Tommy Fury, right? To a certain degree, I know that the influence in boxing is probably not at the height that it used to be, but there's still names throughout that area in the cruiserweight division.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, does it take for you to do like a Misfits kind of thing?
I did a Misfits.
I know, like you fought on the Jake Paul card.
I did a Misfits. You know, the only person I will fight in the influencer world, and you know, I love him to death, so it would have to be for something big and maybe for a title. If like me and him are in the way of each other of being undisputed, Vidal Riley. That's about it.
He makes a lot of waves over there.
Yeah, exactly. He's about to fight Chev Clark.
Yeah.
The one, another guy I want to fight, Chev Clark. Oh my God, I've been tagging him and everything. No answer. But I'm trying to do what Vidal Riley does. You know, Vidal Riley built his platform up so that way he's known everywhere. So that's what I'm trying to do. I got to get there. So, you know, Tommy Fury, at first I wanted, but I realized he don't want to fight a real boxer. He wants to fight everybody. He's an influencer. He's not his brother. That family bloodline got cut. That's Tyson Fury. He got cut.
I thought he's like a half brother, right?
I'm a half brother, Hasim Rahman.
True.
I'm you know what I mean? Like,
so we can't use that analogy.
Can't use that analogy. Like I want it. He don't want it. He wants that fame. He a pretty boy. He got the blue eyes and all that. I'm saying he don't want to get really punched in the face. You know, he want to fight. He want to fight a bunch of influencers and say that he's a real boxer. His father is more. His father gives him his heart. His father hypes it up. If you ever notice, his father's energy when he's with Tyson versus the father's energy when he's with Tommy. He's the more hype man for Tommy. Tyson, he his own hype man. Yeah, they just be amping each other up. But Tommy's very quiet, real meek, type guy. He don't really want no smoke. He's like, let me try to make my way. He want to say he's a boxer, but he's an influencer, TV personality.
Would it take for you to have to fight like a Dylan Ennis, or MMA fighter, or even they just don't really see the reward unless they're fighting like KSI and Jake and stuff? You
know what's crazy? I don't think they would ever step in the ring with me. I think we've had conversations back, Mike Perry, people like that. They want mediocre guys like Tommy Fury, KSI, people like that. Now, I will say, KSI is doing this thing, Tommy Fury doing this thing, but they want mediocre guys. They don't want no guys that's actually going to knock them out or even potentially knock them out. That's not real boxing. Boxing is going towards adversity and going towards a challenge that you got to feel as though you might not be able to beat. So that way you're going to train to make sure that you win. Because there is a possibility that you might lose.
So why don't you, just like 90% of like the American boxers, so just do something with Turkey? Have you
I'm waiting. Trust me, I want to. I've said it. I hope Turkey comes across this video, comes across one of the videos that I've shouted him out for. I am the Muslim boxer. I'm very known across the world as far as being Muslim. I definitely think me and him would do a great promotion, but he just got to see it. I know there's a million people hitting his line and tagging him and things like that. So mine might fall under the radar for a little bit, but eventually it's gonna pop out, and he'll know who I am.
I mean, he's making certain fights happen. He's making the fights like Brandon Glanton and Christian Bloom Smith are fighting on a Turkey card.
I would love to fight on his card. I'm just waiting. That's it. You know, I think I got the right management. I think my team, home team management, I think, you know, they have the right resources to get to him. So I think within the time, we'll have it done.
Awesome. Well, I just had to get your thoughts on a couple fights that's coming up.
Okay.
You know, you shared a ring with Jaron Ennis. Jaron is finally, after all these, he got a unification fight, which by all means, it came at a time where, you know, and I love Jaron Ennis' fights. You know, there's some adversity with the Karen fight, and I'm sure that he recognized and reflected. It seemed like maybe a little blood came out in the water, just, you know, and you know, when that happens, all the sharks are starting to come and look and say, okay, he bleeds a little bit like us.
That's what he needed, though. That's what he needed. So he needed to, people needed to see maybe some kinks in the armor, because before he was just, he was invincible, and so they needed that. And I personally think still nobody's beating him. I think Crawford will give him the problem, but I don't think Crawford wants to fight him either. But Boots is generational talent that, you know, people need to see some type of kink in the armor before they try him. And thank God, alhamdulillah, they actually did. You know, they saw with the with what was that guy's name? Karen something.
Yeah,
exactly. They saw that and they said, you know what, we might have a chance of beating him if they can do that. But you know, they'll figure it out. That Boots might have just had an off day that day, or styles make fights. If you got an awkward fighter, what more can you do except for win? You know, when you have a fighter that's, you know, built to, you know, kind of mirror your style, and you're able to knock them out with certain certain qualities, you can do that. But somebody like that guy probably have never. It's hard to knock him out. He's a very awkward fighter. Look at Sean Porter. He's a very awkward fighter. You have to be built different in order to really knock him out. And no one has knocked him out. They've knocked him down, just like him. Just like the I forget his name. Karen. You call him Karen?
That's his first name.
That's his first name.
That's
okay. Just
Karen.
like Karen. Nobody's knocking Karen out. He's very awkward and he's strong. So you're not knocking him out. The only thing you can do is try to look good against him, but you're not going to look great against him. Crawford wouldn't look great against him. Nobody's going to look great against him. He's not. He's an awkward fighter.
Do you think it's like this thing where, and I'm not trying to say like every situation is the same, but you got that Western slick Black American style versus that Eastern European. You've seen it with Devin Aloma. You've seen it with Crawford versus Navratilov, and then, you know, Boots and Karen. So in this case, you know, Lithuania with Stanionis. I mean, he's a come forward, tough guy. He's been underneath the tutelage at a point with Ryan Shields, so he knows how to do a great jab. So why is it in this fight that it's not going to be, or do you think it's going to be as competitive as the Karen fight? Or maybe
I think it's going to be as competitive because you're going to see a lot more of Boots' moves. Boots has great defense. Stanionis has great offense. Boots has great offense as well, but you're going to see Boots use more of his, you know, defensive skills in this fight because he has to. And so, like in other fights, you know, with Karen, he couldn't really use his defensive skills like he was supposed to because he was trying to chase the guy for 12 rounds, 2 fights. So with this one, he doesn't have to chase. The fight's going to be right there. So now we're going to see what skills actually happen. And you never know, you know, God is the best of planners. So you never know how he's going to feel in that day.
Is there any, I guess, concern just in the fact that, not just the fact that styles make fights, right? This is obviously a fight where Boots is able to be a lot more defensive versus the offense. But just the opponents, right? They say that certain opponents rise to the occasion and fight to the opposition. With the consistent performances that he's had, do you think that it might have, in training, right, maybe plateaued to a degree because he's never was able to kind of, you know, get up and going into this fight? Is that going to change, or is it just really like what we're seeing is that was just Boots on those type of days, the David Avenesian when he was criticized? Some people said it was ring rust, but is this a case where, and you know, you're as a fighter, do you kind of plateau a little bit until you get more consistent top competition, or?
I would say I think you plateau if you are stagnant in your training. Boots is not one of them people that's stagnant in his training. Boots is one of those people who go back to the drawing board immediately. Like the kids in the gym the day after the fight or day before, you know what I mean? Like, so he's working and watching all the defects that he has in his armor, and he's working on it. He's trying to fix it. Of course, Bozy is one of the best trainers, you know, in the field right now, and so they're looking at those things and really focusing on, you know, what he did wrong. Yes, no one's perfect. Everybody's going to get hurt. People are going to get hurt. People are going to, you know, not look as good. And then people are going to start saying, oh, well, he's not as good as he, you know. Everybody's a fan until you lose. You know what I mean? Everybody's all hype until you lose. So I will say that, you know, I believe in Boost that he's going to fix whatever, you know, whatever defects they saw in his last fight. And I think he's going to capitalize on Stanionis, you know, coming forward like that.
You know, prior to those couple fights when he signed with Matchroom, he was essentially labeled as like the boogeyman, you know, especially after the Villa performance, like he was off the charts. So, you know, in this case, the criticism that he's gotten, right? You know, high praise, but then also really low lows in case when he doesn't perform as like a Superman. Do you think that's fair for him? Because, or is it just premature criticism that he's getting? Or is the right criticism because people anointed him that year as like, you know, he's a pound for pound fighter without the accolades of a pound for pound?
I think it's par for the course. I think, you know, in any sport, people are going to praise you, and the minute you do something wrong, they're going to have this. Boxing is like rough, like it's a tough sport, so you're not even going to get like good constructive criticism. You might get like harsh criticism that's not even, you know, valid. But it's par for the course. It all depends on the fighter and how that fighter deals with the constructive criticism of what he gets. You go to ESPN, I'm pretty sure. How many people have never fought have so many opinions about how a fighter is supposed to be? I mean, you can't really worry about it. People have told me, like, oh yeah, you got a good right hand, but you got to do this and that and that. Well, you don't even know how I fight. So, what are you comparing it to? You know what I mean? Like, you've never seen any of my fights. How do you compare, you know, these? Oh, I only seen one thing. I might have been sick that day. Matter of fact, I probably was sick. I probably was sick that day. No one knows what Boots has other than Boots. You know, Boots knows what he has. Boots knows what, you know, how he can maneuver around Stanionis. I think he's going to be a phenomenal fighter. I think he is a phenomenal fighter. So, I'm excited for the fight. Yeah, I'm excited to see it.
They say it's number 1, number 2 for the Ring magazine.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Like I'm so excited to see him get, you know, be the undisputed. I've said this before. There's only one person who remotely even gives him, you know, a run for his money, and that's Crawford. I don't think anybody else gives him a run for his money.